It's a tight match between Cara, HoneyChurch, and
She'll have the pressure. She'll finish last. She must want to finish on lane 22.
Well, if lane 22 is the one that's hooking a little bit more, she can overpower the physical balls. Great shot on 21.
Put some revs in that ball. She starts with this shot.
Cara went home during the off time to Australia, and she worked part-time 3 days a week for a business improvement consulting company. In addition to bowling and working out and everything else.
Not too good of an opening shot there for Cara. Pushes the ball out on her first step. Definitely stays behind it a lot better than she did. Not much of a knee bend, but very solid. Go.
She'll try and fit the ball between the two pins.
Perfect.
And hopefully touch them both.
Yes.
You actually can go through those two pins at the proper angle, at a hard enough angle.
And some of our other finishers. In 6th place, Kim Terrell, who finished 3rd last week in the Queens, and Anne-Marie Dugan 7th, who just missed the telecast last week in working our Chiron.
Lisa Bishop and Shanna Ray did well in the sport condition. Kathy Dorr and Lizzie popped off a check this week on sport condition. Good job, Kat.
Thank you, Jan. Now that one she got in. That was right on her hand.
High again, so this lady was striking at will last match.
There you can see right there, right off her hand, right into the dry, on the nose, and got lucky knocking the 7-pin, where she would have had another split. A very unforgiving condition, the sports condition. When you make a mistake, the majority of the time you'll pay for it.
Now understand, if you're going to bowl a sport condition out in league, there are a variety of patterns that fit the specifications for the sport condition. This isn't necessarily what you'd be bowling on, what you see here. Plus the surface of the center and the heat, humidity, and everything else play a part in how the lanes transition and how they play.
Yes.
So don't expect to see exactly what you're seeing here, but a sport condition is a great way to fine-tune your skills and become more accurate.
Great shot by Liz, coming up light, just blows them around. Jeannie Nacarado in 16th, 10 national titles, and Kim Adler in 19th. She's our defending champion here.
Allison Allmang, she's out in the truck doing our scoreboard. Julie Jackson started on tour last year. She makes a lot of cuts here. And Lisa Stevens from St. Charles, alternate. Her first time as alternate. She was running around here going, oh, I've never done this before. Our alternate actually gathers the scores and posts the standings for the players as they're bowling match play. Liz Johnson leaving a 10-pin. Liz told us she gets pretty nervous before a show. She was going to try to shop a little bit. I understand that helps her relax.
And do laundry. I'll have to give her mine. Maybe relax her a little. She said her strength, though, is her spare game. I can see why. You don't lead tournaments unless you can make spares.
Nice day for graduation, Tim. And it's happening at Franklin Field later on this morning, so expect extra traffic.
Well, there's the great one, the legend, Dick Weber, PBA Hall of Famer, and one of the greatest men I know. What a class act he is, and he has done so much for bowling. We're honored to have him here.
Absolutely. Great shot by Cara.
Much better shot. That break just seemed to have really uneased her a bit, but back on target.
A lot better shot, gets it out to the left, just lets it roll into the pocket instead of forcing it into the pocket by tugging it right, letting the lane bring it in. Beautiful shot. Last match, she was even on both lanes with 4 strikes apiece, even on lane 22 with single pin conversions or splits. I'm sorry, multi-pin spares.
Multi-pin. 2 for 2 on
Rephrase
those.
that.
Right.
No splits.
Match is all even right now through 3 frames.
Stubborn 7.
Another great shot. 7-pin.
Well, Cara was first, she was our average leader in 2000 with 215.18. Second in earnings and fourth in points. And her goal for 2001 was to be in the top 3 in all those categories.
It's a pretty heavy goal.
Sure is. And there's look at those average leaders. Those stats are compiled by the Ebonite Tournament Coordinator. That's our official tournament software.
Wow.
Oh, gosh. It's
That's not like her. But you're right, maybe the break does funny things to people.
Well, suddenly you're in the championship match. You're on a challenging condition, but you've overcome it, and now, you know, for all the marbles.
Sure.
The cost of living's coming down. Inflation and gas prices at 4-year lows. Wages are up, and we're
Great shot by Liz.
deal for America. Support
Yep, it's strikes in the 4th.
back on track.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with a cigarette-related illness?
Times by 52 pins. She can shoot 279 if she takes it off the sheet. There won't be a 300, so the $50,000 bonus for by Travelodge Hotels is safe until next week.
Performance.
Cara left a 10-pin and spared it up in the 6th frame. Her max score right now, best she could shoot, would be 227.
Another weak 7-pin.
Yeah, it actually jumped a bit.
Yeah. It looks like she threw it pretty good. But it looks like it went a little far down the lane before it broke into the pocket and hit weak.
Well, it could have been her release. You know, she has 3 different releases. She's been working on them, and she talked to us about some of those release changes and how they helped her.
I've certainly been using all 3 wrist positions at some stage during the last couple of weeks, and also with improving my physical fitness. I've really noticed it, particularly last week with Queens when we had to bowl so many games in a row. I certainly felt a lot fitter and in a lot better shape than I did previously, so I'm hoping that it'll show for the remaining weeks of this swing.
And here she says her strength is her accuracy, which she's definitely right there. And her weakness is choosing her equipment, which I think could be everybody's weakness at one point. She's still learning, her and her husband, who travels with her full-time out here, Jim. She says they're both trying to learn their equipment, when to make the right choices on what type of pattern. Very smart to have another set of eyes behind you if you can do that at all possible.
It helps a lot. In fact, I was chatting with Dick Weber during the break, and he said, you know, I don't know how to make these equipment changes anymore. He said it's really tough.
Oh,
Ooh, misses that spare.
look at that
Continue to
open
watch
face.
us. Last year, Michelle Feldman won the Omaha Open in dramatic fashion, defeating Linda Barnes in the championship match. Can she repeat? Find out next week as the PWA brings you the Miller High Life Open at a new date and time. Be sure to tune in Tuesday. That's May 29th at 11 p.m. Johnson up very quickly. She wanted to continue to strike. She now leads by 89 pins. That event again next week, Tuesday, May 29th, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And that will come to you from Maplewood Lanes in Omaha, Nebraska.
What I said earlier about Cara, I could say the same thing about Liz. When they get lined in, they are tough to beat. She's just perfect.
Well, she's in her strength right. One of her strengths right now, her weakness was creating areas. She's not having to do that right now. She's able to go very direct at it. She likes to play that kind of a line.
Yeah, it allows her to be aggressive, allows her to throw her ball speed, but she stays behind the ball really well.
For a new finding what crossing after experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. The cancer was characterized with a recent score of 9, which medical experts say indicates the cancer cell.
Well, it
Get
is
Hank
pretty much
knife for too little,
all
too
over.
late.
All over but the crying right now, as they say.
Yeah. That was the pride strike.
A fast and successful recovery. Biden's own Vice President Kamala Harris calling him a fighter, and former President Barack Obama saying, "I am certain he will fight this challenge with his trademark resolve and grace." Biden's office says that the former president is now reviewing.
We'll definitely be seeing more of Cara.
With his doctor's Michael.
Oh, right. She is just, she's a phenomenal talent. And she came out here with so much experience that you can't hold her back. Not to mention she has a little ice water in Spain. She's cool. Cool out there under pressure.
I'm catching a chill up here.
She'll finish up in second place. No chance to defeat Liz. Obviously, her best score would be 190 at this point.
Richard said Combs tried to hit Cassie with a frying pan before she dropped to the floor, went into a fetal position.
Ooh, Cara Hanch came up right back feet.
And she said Combs brought her and bandmate Alina Harper.
Well, Cara will go on. I know she has to hurry up and head to Omaha for a media challenge.
Tomorrow at noon, I believe.
Right, a media challenge tomorrow. We have a lot of those going on. At the beginning of our events, we invite the media to check with the centers and head on out for that media
Cara
challenge.
Hanch sitting good at 179, but not quite enough.
Liz Johnson wanted to say hello to her mom and dad, Karen and Conrad, also her brother Mike and his wife Renee. They have a new baby boy, Noah.
Little Noah, yes.
Noah, I think this big game is for you.
Absolutely. Aunt Liz was very excited to talk about him last night.
Should be quite an interesting week. Robin?
It should be. All right, Aaron, thank
Well,
you.
she bowled just as great tonight as she did yesterday.
Starting to go live as consumers
But like you said, she's in her comfort zone.
uncertainty, many are asking what they should buy
And it
now
shows.
or what to wait.
Well, apparently the back feeling good, and she is back in the winner's circle.
Discounts live now, though, include appliances, something that may get uppriced.
Covers it up, and Liz Johnson is the fourth champion here at the St. Clair Classic. We'll be back
Awesome
with more.
performance by
Don't go
Liz
away.
Johnson. Don't forget to subscribe.